The Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2 is home to countless cozy games. It really is daunting the amount of cozy, farm, life, and other sim type games there are to play on this console. And now really is the best time to play them. We just entered November and fall, which is just the perfect season to kick back, relax while the trees are turning a golden brown outside your window or rain is pitter-pattering falling. And I've always wanted to make a video of the best cozy games on the Nintendo Switch. So I can't think of a better time to do it than now, and to also invite so many of the cozy creator community and friends that I've made recently. So this video is 10 of the best cozy games that you can play on Switch and Switch 2, featuring some of the best cozy creators you will find. So I hope you enjoy this video. Sit back, relax, and let's get cozy.
I'll go ahead and start the list with a game I've been playing a lot recently, and that's Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar.
And I wanted to highlight this one because not only does it have a really nice Nintendo Switch 2 edition, but games like this is what went on to inspire games like Stardew Valley, which is probably, and I'll let LissTheLass cover that one, but my favorite cozy game on the console. So to go back and dive into this game, which is a completely revamped and remastered version of the DS game, but completely brought to life here, even featuring things like full voice acting and brand new visuals. The Switch 2 version has such a smooth frame rate and fast load screens, a great soundtrack that really complements the cozy vibes that we're going for here. If you've played games like Stardew Valley or Farming Sims, you might know what to expect here out of the core gameplay loop, but the added twist in Grand Bazaar is the bazaar, where every Saturday in this day and night cycle, you enter the bazaar, and then you run your own stall and you sell it all. You can decorate the stall, you attract customers, and you can add and improve your stall as the weeks continue. I really like this angle. It feels fresh and it gives you something to look forward to at the end of every week in the game. And it adds to that loop of farming and then processing everything that you farm and then selling it all at the bazaar. It's really satisfying, especially as you unlock new tools, new stands, and the town gradually comes to life. Also, I mentioned that this version adds voice acting, and I can't tell you the level of quality that adds here, especially after playing Pokemon Z and A a lot recently and having those really muted cutscenes, to come here to a visual style that's very similar to that game, but to have the characters actually talking, and these are characters that, you know, you're getting to know and you're building friendships with and relationships with. It adds that extra touch of personality that brings the game to life even more.
Let us all do our part to breathe some life back into this bazaar and make it the grandest bazaar anyone's ever seen!
But speaking of farming sims, I'm gonna let LissTheLass take over. Liz and I connected back when, by podcast, she flew out to New York to be a guest on the show. And me and her and Kim, we all hit it off big time and became fast friends. She even came to Friendsgiving last year and is flying in for Friendsgiving in just a couple weeks this year. She plays a lot of cozy, friendly games like Animal Crossing New Horizons and Stardew Valley. She has a fantastic sense of humor, and alongside that, she doesn't just play the games traditionally all the time. She also likes to add challenges and add a twist to her playthroughs, something more unique. So check out her content after this video.
Who's ready to do a little farming? Hi guys, I'm LissTheLass, and I am a huge fan of farming sims. I know, keep your groans to yourself. But I'm here today to talk about the pinnacle of farming sims, in my opinion, which is Stardew Valley. I'm super into the micromanagement of it all. I love maximizing the profits on my farm, mining and combat and fishing in the game as well. It's all very fun. A lot of people are fishing haters in Stardew Valley, and I will say that it is my favorite fishing in any of these life simmy type of games. So haters, keep it to yourself. But I think that one of the reasons that Stardew Valley is the most popular farming sim by far is because of the relationships that you can build with the townspeople, the dialogue, the romance of it all. There is a story to be told and learned in Pelican Town. I grew up loving and playing games from the Harvest Moon series, later the Story of Seasons series. I heard about Stardew Valley in about 2019-ish. I was reminiscing with some friends about these Harvest Moon games that I loved as a child, and they were like, "Have you heard of Stardew Valley?" I was like, "No." But the second that I got home, I went and downloaded it from the eShop. As I was playing the game, I had this overwhelming feeling of like, what are we doing here? It felt exactly like Harvest Moon initially, but as I kept playing the game, I felt like it was just doing Harvest Moon better than Harvest Moon. With the 1.6 update to the game, the developer added in so many interesting features that sort of just like bulk up the end game. And to me, right now, where Stardew Valley is at, I think it's genuinely perfect. It's a really fun game to engage in speedrunning and maximizing with. I love doing full perfection playthroughs. It's so finely tuned, and I just think it's excellent. And there's even another update that's being planned, okay? I will be seated.
Okay, so you're not in the video yet, but you are now. Because there's one cozy game that I gotta add right now, and it's probably the coziest game that I've ever played on the Switch. And that game is Overcooked 2. It's coming to Switch 2, baby.
If only you knew how frustrated this man gets
okay.
trying to use Overcooked.
Okay, well, it's a very good game, but yeah, I do get very mad. But that's because I'm like really good at it.
You know the show The Bear?
Yes. Or if we played it and you said yes, chef, and I had like the complete reign.
If everyone did what I said, I would have a
yes,
nice
because if everyone did what I said, we would get 3 stars every time. Well, Overcooked 2 is coming to the Switch 2, and you can get it. It's out right now. You can play it and you can buy it right now. It's out right now. They're also sponsoring the video. It's also not cozy at all. It's very chaotic,
It's
very
high stress.
frantic, high stress. It is the opposite of everything that this video stands for. But I think that's why it's perfect for the video. So the Switch 2 version has enhanced graphics in line with the PC. It's 4K 60 frames when docked. So yeah, now you can enjoy those kitchen fires in 4K, Kim. They've also added the camera. So now you can see all of your friends. They've added a camera. So you can see all your friends when you play. Also game share. So even if you only have one copy of Overcooked 2, all of your friends can play locally without a copy. Oh, and online. Let me do that.
Oh.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is good.
And they've also added a new kitchen crew member, the pristine platinum platypus. Is that why they have me doing this? And for 1 week after its launch, it's 20% off. So you can get the upgrade and the new edition if you click the link below, or you go down there and get the game. Also, if you already have the game and you're just upgrading the Switch 2, everything carries over.
Oh,
all
good.
your save and your DLC and all of that. You can just get the Switch 2 upgrade. And that is the coziest game that you will play today. It's so stressful. It's honestly, but it's so fun. And it's right now on Switch 2. Next, we're gonna look at a cozy indie gem with anything but an indie creator, because Cozy K is definitely one of the biggest faces in the cozy community, and one of the coziest. Because not only does her content revolve around these cozy games, but her whole vibe and lifestyle is just cozy. And when I reached out to her and asked her to be a part of this video, I said we're gonna cover big games and then an indie game. And Cozy, she just wanted to focus on the indie games. So she has 2. This is the first one.
The cozy game that has been a surprise favorite of mine for 2025 is Tiny Bookshop. This is a management style cozy game where you are running a tiny little mobile bookshop. You can tell there was so much love and care put into this game, from the art design to the shop mechanics. You pick from a set of real books, which I love. You can really tailor your shop to be whatever you would want it to be in real life because it has all of these real books. So you expand your shop's journey along this map as you unlock different locations for you to park your little bookshop at and sell your books. Each location is so charming in its own way. It's so well designed, and there's also like little things to find and little mini quests to do in each location. There's a lot of interconnected pieces in this game, which makes it so dynamic, and it makes it feel so real, as opposed to some management games where I just feel like I'm stocking and selling, and I'm optimizing to do that in the quickest, best way possible. But there's no like personal connection. And I feel like Tiny Bookshop really nails that personal connection and that connection to the community that you're selling in. You can customize which types of books you sell, and you can customize the shop from the inside of your little mini bookshop to the outside with the cutest little design touches. And then one of my favorite parts is you can recommend books to customers. So they'll come to you and be like, I'm looking for this kind of book, and you can pick the book again from a real selection collection of books, and it's so satisfying. Sometimes it's heartbreaking because you're like, no, I know you would love this book, and they don't love it so much, but it can be so satisfying when you get it right. If you love a management game, if you love books, if you love getting cozy to read, you will love Tiny Bookshop. Like, you cannot go wrong with Tiny Bookshop. It has been such a gem of a game for 2025. I've loved every second of it. It is pretty short and sweet, and maybe I just like short and sweet games, but it is so solid, and it's just not your typical management game, so check it out.
Now, obviously, we couldn't do a cozy games on Switch video and not talk about Animal Crossing, especially when that big update just got announced recently. So who better to talk about it than Mayor Mori? Mayor is a longtime Animal Crossing fan and content creator for the franchise, following any possible updates or speculation or rumors. So who better to talk about Animal Crossing?
Hey everyone, thank you so much for including me. For those that don't know me, I'm Mayor Mori, and I'm best known for covering Animal Crossing, which is possibly the coziest game of all time, or at least set the bar for modern cozy games. We are now in a new era of gaming, and if you're not one of the 50 million players who bought Animal Crossing New Horizons, I'm here to tell you why it's probably one of the best cozy games, not just on Switch, but Switch 2. In Animal Crossing New Horizons, you find yourself on a deserted island with the goal of developing a thriving community and designing the environment however you want, all whilst living amongst some adorable villagers, and some not so adorable villagers. What makes this so cozy is the pace. There's no rush, no pressure, you can do what you want, how you want it. You can literally spend all day catching fish and admiring them in the museum if you want to, you can craft items and decorate your house, making it a home, you can terraform the entire island and design a totally unique layout. Or you can just sit. Yep, there's literally no reason you can't just sit if you wanted to. The waves are really relaxing, what do you want me to say? Jokes aside, this cozy game can be surprisingly social if you want it to be. Animal Crossing New Horizons has evolved from a simple life sim, merged farming, chores and wholesome moments to become the gold standard for cozy games. You can keep things simple and celebrate birthdays and win cupcakes, or you can get to work, unlock milestones, upgrade houses, and make your island the best it can be. It's totally up to you. Now, since launch, the game has seen numerous updates to make real-world events a part of island life, whether that's Halloween or Festival, as well as adding new features, new facilities, and DLC along the way. So it has to be said, even now, amongst these other incredibly cozy games, Animal Crossing New Horizons still stands out simply with how much freedom the game gives you. Plus, with a Nintendo Switch 2 edition around the corner and yet another update on the way, it's the perfect getaway.
Our last, but definitely our brightest and most bubbliest guest for the video is Eeowna. Not only is she fully rooted in the cozy community, playing almost any cozy game that comes out, she's also one of the smartest people I know with a PhD in chemistry. She focuses on Nintendo, and she cultivates a community that values kindness, mental health awareness, wholesomeness. In fact, to describe her, it really is just wholesome chaos. That is Eeowna. I wanted to make sure I said the name correctly because we have a running gag that I say it wrong. Awana's gonna talk about one of the first Switch 2 games I played and one that I really do love a lot.
Okay, so one of my favorite cozy games is actually one that came out very recently, and that's Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time. Now, this is what they call a cozy RPG, as this mixes together a lot of your more traditional cozy elements like crafting, farming, and cooking with an RPG-like story. Now, the game begins with you stumbling across an uncharted, deserted island, with only the remains of a once great civilization left. But before you can really get your bearings, you find yourself transported 1,000 years into the past when life on the island was thriving. And it becomes your job to jump between the past and the present to try and figure out not only what happened, but also how to stop it. But alongside the story, there is actually so so much for you to do, as there's actually 14 different classes, or as they call it, lives, for you to play as and level up. And you can switch between them freely at any point. There's also an entire open world area for you to explore, which is absolutely massive and filled with things to do. There's also dungeons for you to tackle, either alone or with friends, to try and get rare items. And if that's not enough, you actually also get your very own area to build and decorate, where you can not only have a home for yourself, but also some of the friends you make along the way as well. But the wonderful thing about Fantasy Life is that the story gives all of these mechanics a purpose, meaning that there's a reason to do just about everything that the game has to offer. And I actually found myself playing this long after I finished the main story. And this is one of the few cozy games that actually has a Switch 2 version, which does have a lot of upgrades to the graphics and the frame rate, which is definitely worth spending less than $1 on. I absolutely adore this game, and I've never played so much of a game so fast as I did with this one.
Well, I don't think Kim needs much introduction on this channel, but I'm gonna do it anyway, because if anyone has introduced cozy and happiness into my life, so here's everybody's favorite Kim.
I feel like this had to be the game that I talked about because it's the only thing I've played since we've had Stinky Joe. First of all, you don't have to be a human character. This, you can customize it, and then you don't have to keep the character that you made the first time, because you start unlocking other stuff like other color palettes and stuff, and then you can make a new character pretty much every time you play if you wanted to, which I think is cool. And then also, side note, it's depending on which character you pick. Some of the outfits look really, really cute and comically oversized on some of the characters. It's very similar to Animal Crossing in a lot of ways. I wouldn't say it's a clone, because it does things differently. It does things, honestly, that I like more than some of the things in Animal Crossing. One of them, I know a lot of people complain about this, I like that you can't time travel in this game or it'll break the game, because I feel like that was a thing that I would do. I would stay up way later than I should have, just changing the time in the game so that I could do something else. But this is pretty much, once you're done for the day, you're done for the day. You can't terraform in this game at all. It's a fixed island, so you kind of just have to do the story quests and stuff, and you don't necessarily have to worry about much else, which is fun. So you have to level up the friendships with them, so you give them gifts every day, and you have to figure out what gift is like the 1-star, 2-star, 3-star gift for each character. And then once you've maxed out the friendship levels, you can like kind of cheat a little bit and use them as boosters for your own abilities. I really like how the game looks, and I like all the little characters. So once you unlock Wish Me Mel, the little bunny, once you like max out your friendship with her, you get all these different flowers unlocked, and you have to try to breed all of the well, you don't have to. I do, because I'm, you know, I'm a collector. So currently I'm trying to unlock all the colors, and I thought I had done it, and then I did a new quest, and now I have to get a black and gray one for each flower again. Yay.
Okay, so that was all of our big games, and now we all want to talk about some indie gems that we love. Powerwash Simulator, the first one when it released on Switch, I actually downloaded it right before I had to take a flight, because I have terrible flight anxiety, and I know that this game is supposed to be therapeutic and calming and relaxing, and, you know, it might not look like it, but cozy in a way. And sure enough, I played it on that flight, and it did really calm my nerves, and I think that, in a large part, is the stimulation and the experience that we want to get from a cozy game, is something that calms you. And Powerwash Simulator 2 just released on Switch 2. On paper, it might seem kind of obvious what this game is. It's a simulator of you power washing things. And I also know that the simulator tag gets thrown into so many crappy shovelware games on the eShop. This is actually a really quality game where the devs are passionate about their creating. So you have a power washer, and you can switch between all these different nozzles and types and soaps and all kinds of things to wash with. And then you're given a level which typically has something dirty in it. It could be a vehicle, it could be a playground, it could be a house, completely covered in muck, all kinds of muck. And then it's your job to wash it. You just gotta wash the whole thing. The more you play and the more things you clean, the more you get paid, and the more items and upgrades you're able to buy to make washing easier, to get different nozzle types or get different soaps. And there is something so inherently therapeutic about washing something and watching it get cleaned. And it's bizarre because there are so many things in my real life around the house that I should be cleaning. My actual deck could probably use a power wash, but I can't be bothered. I'd rather sit inside for hours on end playing my Switch 2 and pretending to power wash fake things I don't own. But I do find it very cozy and relaxing. Oh, but there are so many cozy indies. It actually was really hard for all of us to pick one cozy indie game. And I would love if you guys left your favorites down below, because there's no way that we can cover them all. But that said, I'm gonna throw it back to Mori, who actually has a very unique pick that surprised me, but I love it.
Honestly, there's so many amazing cozy games out there, as you've seen, but one little gem that's a favorite of mine is Little Kitty Big City. So what's it about? As the name suggests, you play as an adorable cat who gets lost in a huge city, and well, the goal is simple. You have to find your way home. Except it's more wholesome than that. You get to explore, make friends, and annoy locals if you fancy it, all from a cat's point of view. It may sound weird, but it's full of charm and truly one of those games you can fully immerse yourself in. Much like Animal Crossing, which is probably why I recommend it, it's slow paced. There's no timer, no stress. You literally can't fail. Unless you consider not getting home failing. Okay, you can fail, but you won't because you're a cat. Anyway, as you roam, you can climb buildings, explore hidden areas, jump off ledges, or nap and do nothing. I'm starting to see a pattern here, actually. Little Kitty Big City is the perfect combination of wholesome and silly. The environment feels real and alive, and you find yourself genuinely wanting to delay getting home just so you can relax some more. It's the definition of the cozy genre. Now, it's not the longest game in the world, but there's plenty of birds to chase and hats to find. Yep, you can customize your cats. Kind of. Plus, it recently received an update adding all new areas to find and more. So yeah, I don't think a list of top cozy games would be complete without Little Kitty Big City. Oh, and if you want to explore it some more, I have a full Let's Play of it over on my Let's Play channel. Back to you.
I don't think anything is cozier than a rainy day and an espresso. And one day I'd like to sit down with Eeowna and actually have a coffee and maybe play a video game. But until then, this.
Next up is another one of my favorite cozy games, and that is Coffee Talk. Now, this is actually one of my favorite genres of cozy game as well, because this is a visual novel, and this to me is the perfect type of game to play before you go to bed. But despite its name, Coffee Talk is actually a game all about listening. As in this, you run a late night cafe in the heart of an alternative version of Seattle, a city where orcs, elves, and other fantasy creatures live alongside humans. But your job is far more than just serving customers their drinks. It's also one all about listening to whatever your customers have to say. And it's through these conversations that you get to know not only all about the customers and their lives, but also the world around them. But the thing I truly love the most with Coffee Talk is that the customers don't just interact with you, but also with each other, really bringing this small cafe to life and helping you get to know each and every one of the characters in detail. And these customers come from all walks of life, ranging from hearing all about a love story to an alien just trying his best to understand humans. Now, despite the fact that Coffee Talk is a visual novel, you don't actually control the story with your dialogue options. Instead, it's done by the drinks that you brew and serve each of the customers, as your drinks have the power to influence not only their hearts, but also their decisions outside of the cafe, and therefore their fate. And as you progress through the game, you'll gain new ingredients to add to your counter, and you'll be able to make more complicated drinks for your customers. And this means that this is a game with multiple endings. And if you didn't know, this is also a game which changes things up when you're on your second or third playthrough as well. So there are plenty of hours worth of fun to get out of this. Now, there is also a sequel to Coffee Talk, which is Coffee Talk 2, and I think that game is arguably better than the original, but it has a lot of the same characters and their stories continue on in Coffee Talk 2. So you definitely want to play the original before you go on to the sequel.
Also, not only coffee, but hiking in the fall is definitely a treat, especially around here in Pennsylvania when the leaves start falling and they go that golden brown and the yellows and the reds. There's nothing like a short hike. And also there's nothing quite like Cozy K talking about a short hike.
One of the best cozy games, in my humble opinion, is a short hike. You could play it in probably one day, like one sitting even, even. It's real quick, but it leaves such a lasting impact. And I feel like that is the marker of any great game, in my opinion, whether it's cozy, whether it's not cozy. Does it leave you thinking? Does it leave you contemplating life? Does it leave you reflecting on your emotions? And I feel like for me, there was a life before I played A Short Hike and a life after I played A Short Hike. It just had that much of an impact on me. So you embark on a journey to make it to the top of a mountain on an island called Hawk Peak to find reception as you wait for a phone call from your mother. While that is the end goal, the game really welcomes just full exploration and dilly-dallying, which is always my favorite part of a cozy game. I love to dilly-dally. And in this game, the dilly-dallying is plentiful. You can run off and fly around to your heart's content for as long as you'd like, stumble upon hilarious characters that have you chuckling, stumble upon mini games all of a sudden where you're like, okay, now I'm playing volleyball on the beach. I didn't even know this was part of the game mechanic. And all of that is in pursuit of gaining more golden feathers. And the golden feathers basically raise your stamina, which helps you get to the top of the mountain, which again is the end goal. My favorite part, yes, was the overall story. That's going to leave like this reflective, lasting impact on you. But really close second to that was just stumbling upon hilarious characters and suddenly you're whisked off into a side quest. I think it's just those little surprises in this game that really give it that charm. That along with the art style is so unique and so charming. I feel like the music also does a really good job at matching the tone of the game. The music is just beautiful. It's a game that makes you reflect on the highs and lows of life, but ultimately it leaves you with a sense of hope.
You know, at Friendsgiving last year, Liz was worried about coming because she hadn't met everybody and she didn't want to be the awkward person in the corner of the room that didn't know what to say. And then she ended up being the life of the party. I couldn't imagine Friendsgiving this year without her, so I'm glad she's coming back. Anyway, I didn't know how to segue into her next part, so here she is.
Oh, also, I didn't realize until editing this that Fields of Mistria is not currently on the Switch. I don't think Liz realized that this was supposed to be an eShop-centric cozy video. There are a lot of rumors of this game coming to the system, so I guess this will give us a game to look out for. In the meantime, you can enjoy it on Steam.
Now, everybody wants to be Stardew Valley. There are lots of games that are trying to capture that cozy feeling that a farming sim offers, and frankly, trying to jack Stardew Valley's swag, in my opinion. As much as Stardew Valley kind of jacked Harvest Moon's swag, they get a pass because it's better. Genuinely, the only game, in my opinion, that I have played in the farming sim genre that correctly captures the same magic of Stardew Valley is Fields of Mistria. Something that Fields of Mistria has over Stardew Valley, in my opinion, is a little bit more complicated animal stuff. Ranching is a lot more of a focus in Fields of Mistria, and animal breeding so that you can get certain color variants of your animals and things. But it's got all of the elements that you expect. You know, we've got mining, we have building relationships and romancing townies. Okay, so here we go. I think that the townies in Fields of Mistria are way hotter. In Stardew Valley, they are cute, but in Fields of Mistria, they're hotter, which is something that LissTheLass is always gonna appreciate. Definitely not looking for Luigi content here. All in all, Fields of Mistria, right now, in its current state, I think is very solid and worth checking out. And I say this state because Fields of Mistria is actually still in early access until at least 2026. I have my own opinions about early access these days. With Fields of Mistria, though, they are doing regular updates throughout their early access phase. And while I haven't picked it up in a minute because I'm waiting on the game's full release, what I played so far is really, really solid. And they haven't mentioned anything about a planned Switch release, but I mean, come on, you know, these types of games, they thrive on the Switch. So I believe that can be expected. Okay, thank you guys so much for letting me talk about farming sims. Thank you, Wood, for having me. My name's LissTheLass. Check out my channel, subscribe to my channel. Okay, bye, gamers.
Now, even though whenever Kim and I get back from a trip, we typically leave the suitcases shoved in a corner for a week and never actually get around to unpacking them until we desperately need something that was in that suitcase, a game that Kim really enjoyed playing Unpacking was about just that.
So Unpacking is a cozy management sim game where you have to unpack items from certain phases of a person's life, and there is kind of like a story that goes along with it. It's not necessarily explicitly told to you, but from the context clues of the time frames and the items, you can kind of see where it's going. And I gotta be honest, it's really fun to put things away. I really like the art style, and it's really fun to organize the items because sometimes they have to go in a specific place and sometimes you can kind of do what you want, I guess. And honestly, I was really disappointed when I finished the game, not in the game, but in the fact that it was over and I couldn't play another level. So I'm really hoping at some point they do another one of these or a sequel to this one. I don't care what it is. I will play it. I love it.
And that's 10 cozy games on the Switch 2 and the Switch from me, Kim, and some of my favorite cozy creators. I tried to make this video as vibey as possible, and I hope that I did that. And I also hope that you guys found either some fun games to play or some fun new people to watch. If you did, how about you like, comment, and subscribe? And you go to the description and you can check out all of the creators featured, and I thank all of them for being a part of the video and taking the time. It means a lot to me. Okay, this is Beatemups. Once again, drifting you off into cozy land, where we sit and we play video games and we drink coffee and maybe we unpack things if we have time.
Luigi content.